We have this opinion article from the New York Post, but they have a lot of factual things included within it, so that's why I'm bringing it up today. I don't normally bring up opinion articles, but I wanted to cover this with my guests today. And let's just read the title of this one, Nora, from the New York Post. California's kiddie stroll is state-sponsored slavery, selling children for sex. So what this is we have multiple, 3, 4, I think 5 bills maybe, that they themselves are terrible, but when you have all of them, they have now essentially legalized, or at the very least decriminalized, prostitution of children.
I know. I've heard several of these bills being passed, and they made my stomach turn.
And this is quite a long article, and it breaks down a few of these laws. So let's jump right into it. California's laws have made children its least protected class. As a matter of fact, if an American state wanted to establish a formal means of separating children from parents and other loving caregivers to feed a profitable industry, it couldn't be done with much more effectiveness than in California. In 2023, Governor Gavin Newsom signed legislation requiring foster parents to affirm the LGBTQ identities of any children in their care. So in order to have a foster child in California, if that child decides that they're transgender, you have to affirm them to the fullest extent.
Nope.
And it doesn't matter if the school confused them, doesn't matter who confused them or what ideology that they think they believe in, you have to affirm that. And then it also goes on to say that naturally he hailed it as a giant leap forward for gay rights, but it effectively kicked committed religious believers out of the foster care system. Yeah, because there's not going to be... what Christian is going to raise a trans kid knowing that they're abusing them through these medical procedures?
No good person, period.
Right.
No person who is mentally stable. It doesn't even have to... I understand they're throwing the religious aspect on it, but no stable person would affirm anybody, especially a child like this.
I live in California. I wouldn't be able to have a foster kid if that's the case, because I'm not affirming anything.
I used to be cleared as a foster parent for the state of Alaska. I was a foster parent for a very short time. I would never be able to affirm anybody, period. I would immediately lose all credentials to be a foster parent if that was the case.
It's just insane. I mean, and then we have, let's see, I don't know if they bring it up here. No, they don't bring it up here. But so I don't know if the article brings it up, but there's another law that they recently amended. So it's been law since, I believe, 1970. I'm going to get a little graphic here, so if you have kids in the room, cover their ears. This law made it to where starting at age 14, all the way from age 14 to 24, people engaged in a relationship, so a 24-year-old engaged with a 14-year-old would not end up on the sex registry.
Yep.
And that goes all the way up to 15 and a 25-year-old, 16 and a 26-year-old. You see where the math is going. Basically, within 10 years, starting at age 14. And they recently expanded the law. Not only does this law exist, they recently expanded it because it was discriminatory against LGBTQ people because it did not include anal or oral. It only included vaginal sex. So they recently amended it last year to now include anal and oral sex for 14 and 24-year-olds and 15 to 25, however you want to put that. So people engaging in these relationships, it's not criminalized, it's not legal, but it's not criminalized either. So it's in that gray area where you can do it and you don't end up on the sex registry.
Unacceptable.
It's completely unacceptable, but that's what I mean. You couple all these laws together and it's like they're terrible and disgusting individually, but then you put them all together and it's like, holy crap, I'm seeing a pattern.
They're protecting pedophiles and predators.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is. And everybody wants to know how these creeps get into office. It's because they have people like this in office who are inherently evil and do evil things. So evil is allowed to continue.
And then couple what I just said with this, Nora. Last month, the governor signed AB 495. This is now going into effect. This is now a new law that is going into effect, aka the legal kidnapping bill.
Yep, I heard this one.
This allows an unrelated adult to claim a mentoring relationship and exercise parental authority over any child.
Any child. at any point in time, even if they don't actually know them.
Non-foster parent, non-legal guardian, non-blood relative, non-legal parent, none of that. You could be a school counselor and like, oh, parents aren't present. Let me sign something here. Now I have authority over you. I have parental authority.
Oh yeah. Oh, you didn't get your field trip permission slip signed? Let me sign that for you. Oh, you want to get out of school early? Let me sign you out.
No, that's literally, that's the ability and authority that these people would have. So let's say someone's so you know, a lot of these kids nowadays are online. Let's say they meet an adult online, right? Well, that adult could presumably exercise parental authority over that child if he gets enough information on him. That was terrible timing for that sound effect, guys. Nora, we just hit the like goal and it did the yay sound effect.
Oh no.
That was terrible timing. You guys did that on purpose, I feel like.
Impeccable timing, everybody. Impeccable timing.
Thank you, but no thank you. Anyway, continuing on.
Yay for the likes, boo for this.
Timing, boo for the timing. I'm sure that'll be funny later in the segment. But anyway, no, this and I'm not over yet, guys. This isn't over. There's worse bills than even this one. And like Nora and I were talking about, random adults that are seeking to be predators to these children. A couple, what I just said, right, Nora? A 14-year-old starts talking to a 24-year-old online. Well, that 24-year-old's a legal adult, Nora. He can exercise parental authority over that child, and then they can get in a relationship, and then he will never end up on the sexual registry.
Yep. Exactly, and that's just scary to me.
And it gets worse. Do you have something to add there? Because it gets worse.
Well, oh yeah, no. See, like I could understand within reason. Up here, it was either 4 or 6 years or something like that. 6 years if you're closer to like 17, but if 14-year-old, it has to be within 4 years. So you can only be 18.
Well, and that's the argument for the law, right? Is that it's our state's version of Romeo and Juliet. The law that protected me and my girlfriend when she was 17 and I was 18 is the same law that protects 14-year-olds and 24-year-olds. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, see, I could understand within reason, within 4 years. Oh, 17 and 18 makes sense. 14 and 18 makes sense. You're still high school. That's a high school freshman and a senior. Granted, it can be a little bit dicey even at the 4-year mark for that.
When I was going to high school, people always thought it was weird with the seniors getting with the freshies, but
yeah, exactly. That was a social taboo more than anything, and that's what I want to bring back is that social taboo of no, that's not okay, and no, this isn't the 1600s, and no, you don't need to be 34 marrying a 14-year-old. That's disgusting, guys.
I know Shitty Gov's going off in the chat, but I want to continue here. Newsom's cronies in the legislature touted it as protection for the children of undocumented immigrants who might get whisked away by ICE in the middle of the day, but it effectively put an end to parents' rights. So they pushed this out under the guise of protecting children getting taken away by ICE.
Unacceptable. No,
they always use these political agendas to get these greater ideas out there, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but if you're here illegally, get out. ICE needs to get you anyways.
Yeah, and if you're a kid that's here illegally, then you need to go with your parents, or we just need to send you back to your family in whatever country you came from. If your parents are illegal and you're legal, I still think you should go back with your parents. But if for whatever reason your parents tell you to stay, I guess you're going in the foster system. I'm not okay with it.
You're a ward of the state, or you get to go live with somebody here who is legal. I don't care, but you should probably be with your family. Get out. Bye. I'm sorry. I can't.
Here's one of the worst ones yet, Nora. Then there's SB 357, which bars police from profiling underage prostitutes.
Yeah,
that's a law.
That one too.
That's a law in California. Police are not allowed to profile underage prostitutes.
You shouldn't have them.
I'm sorry. That's a foreign concept nowadays, Nora.
You should not have underage prostitutes.
Foreign concept.
What happened to protecting children and letting children be children?
Nope.
They're not sex slaves. They are not to be sexualized. You creepy, nasty pedophiles.
And remember, guys, I want everyone to keep in mind that law that I brought up. These underage prostitutes, whoever decides to get with these prostitutes, will never end up on a registry.
Ever.
So think about how many people are going around California right now that are actual pedophiles, but you will never see them on a registry anywhere.
Disgusting.
So this was designed to loosen the legal hassles surrounding sex work, as the progressives call it, but because sex seems like a job to them, and supposedly spare some unfortunate young women an early criminal record. So they said, oh, we don't want to give these unfortunate young women, an early criminal record, even though there's adults paying them for sex.
Okay, so not giving the prostitutes a criminal record, I could understand because of the fact that some of these girls
Are forced
trafficked.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're trafficked.
But that would make them a victim, though. Like
Well, exactly. And that's why they don't want to give them a prostitute criminal charge, because they are the victim. And I can understand not giving them that. But at the same time, if you swoop them up and they are in your custody, that is when you should step in and be able to help them and get them out of it. Because then you're realizing, oh, they got trafficked. Oh, let's go find their pimp. Let's go find their handler and go from there, and then put criminal charges on the real criminals.
Yeah.
Not these poor women who are being forced into it. So I could understand that part of it, but at the same time, I'm just like, oh my God.
I mean, something needs to be done where they're separated at the very least from whatever's going on.
They need to be removed from the situation, and nobody is saving them. And that is just so sad.
And it goes on to say that perhaps you're beginning to see a pattern here. If you don't already see the pattern from all these laws, they all coincide together to make something absolutely disgusting. So it should come as no surprise that in California, the trafficking of children is now booming. This week, a New York Times report blew the lid off the Los Angeles child sex trafficking corridor known as the Blade. Preteen prostitutes have become so common, their numbers growing so quickly that local law enforcement officers have their own name for it, the kiddie stroll.
Yep.
The kiddie stroll is no accident. It's not the sad but inevitable result of industrial progress. It's not even a function of poverty. The kiddie stroll is California's opus, the logical result of its most effective social programming. A disaster created over years and decades by politicians and others who understood that patience is a virtue, even for those with no virtue. Yep. Every law supposedly meant to protect children in the state of California does the opposite. Every last one leads to this. Leave the border open for cartel coyotes to traffic humans without opposition. Create a cultural distrust of parents, labeling them difficult or abusive if they question gender or sexual confusion in their children. Drive caring religious foster parents out of an already strained system, leaving more children vulnerable and alone. Lower the age of consent. Lower it again. Stop prosecuting violent crimes. Stop prosecuting prostitution. Limit cops and prosecutors' ability to identify criminal behavior and victims. Stop labeling prostitution the heinous crime it is. Start innocuously calling it sex work instead. Make it as easy as possible for any adult to wield legal control over a child, then wait for the culture to accept that degradation is normal. That's where California's at.
The depravity of man.
Look, if God is real, Nora, and he doesn't strike us down, I don't know why. I don't know why he did that to Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, we're the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. I feel like California is. Maybe the only reason God. I'm not a very religious person. My only assumption would be that God doesn't destroy California because there are still virtuous people here.
Well, the best take on God, you've seen Futurama, right?
Yeah.
Bender gets shot into space, and he has a colony of bacteria. Yeah. And he becomes God, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And before he gets sent back, there was a quote, something to the effects of, being God is having the faith that somebody's there, but not doing enough where people have faith, but not doing anything at all, so people will still question. So this is one of those things. This is going to be testing a lot of people's faith. It's testing my faith in humanity.
I
That's for
mean,
sure.
I see things every day that test my faith in humanity. Uh,
Exactly. And so, you know, it's not necessarily I think that God is going to strike down California for this, but y'all have had droughts and wildfires, and next thing you know, you're going to get hit with a plague. Just watch, you know, you guys are getting signs
yeah,
and
it'll be an
people.
STI.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's going to be a plague of something
Oh wait, we
somewhere,
already did. It
and
was monkeypox.
there you go. See, y'all had a plague already, and you guys are not taking the signs
That was so
seriously.
disgusting when that
Course
stuff was popping off.
correct.
There were children showing up to
Ugh,
hospitals with monkeypox, and it's like, how the fuck did they get that?
how do you think they got it?
I don't want. We're not gonna go down that road. Anyway, they got it from all these laws that they're passing in California.
Exactly. That's
Um,
exactly it. Tying it back around. Those children were exposed to monkeypox because of these stupid, disgusting laws that are not protecting them.
yeah.
So
What?
until you guys can course correct, bad stuff like this is going to keep ramping up. And then what's even worse is now Gavin Newsom wants to run for president.
Well, because he
Oh,
wants
he
this
can
for the
just
country.
exactly. He wants this. And he sits there and I saw he code switched the other day.
Did
Oh my God, yes. He went on a podcast with two black guys that were ex basketball players, and he talked about a stack of Wonder Bread and
Oh,
playing basketball. And I was just like,
I'd heard about that. Yeah.
boy, sit down. You don't even know what Wonder Bread is. I can guarantee you don't even know what the smell of it is.
He has Nancy Pelosi as an aunt, doesn't he?
Something like
He's
that.
he's
Yeah.
likely never wanted for anything.
No, he hasn't. And he was sitting there talking about how he would take care of himself and that he was basically a latchkey kid and da 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 da. And, oh, he would go out and play basketball and shoot hoops until the lights came on. And I'm like, no, you didn't.
You mean
You
the lights of your
prim
mansion?
proper. Yeah. And I was like, you prim proper little prissy princess. No, you did not. I was like, you hardly even broke a nail. He
What?
has a silver spoon in his mouth and he's sitting there trying to code switch.
Let's see. I'm trying to look up something right now. Holy crap. Nancy Pelosi has been in politics. She's been a politician a little bit longer than Gavin Newsom's been alive.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, so Newsom's 58. She's been in the politics since at least the 60s, but in total, she's been a politician for 38 years. But she's been in politics since the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So I highly doubt Newsom's really... Newsom's been built up for this. That's always been my opinion. They've built him up for this, and they're building him up to be president, too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, even though he doesn't deserve it. And
No.
he's running California into the ground. And I hope to God everybody opens their eyes and sees what kind of an atrocious human being this person is. And I don't even think he's a human being. I honestly wonder if he's one of them lizard people.
I don't know. The sheeple in the state would never know that, though, no, because they're all about to vote yes on Prop 50, according to recent polling.
Oh, God, please no.
I'm not joking. There's a lot of people just voting yes on it. They saw, they're like, oh, I can remove Republicans from my state. Let's do it. That's all it was. That's all they needed.
Tyler, I hope you
For
and your
calling
family
us
move
fascist, they're the ones removing our votes.
See, I know that Joey is for staying in, you know, and fighting the good fight in a communist state.
I am to a degree, but it's
I
getting
am
hard.
too, but dude, when do you cut your losses and just go? When see, I'm one of those, I don't know when enough is enough. I don't know when to quit. I keep going until like I have beaten the horse dead into the ground. And even then I'll still beat the horse for a little bit. So I just, when is enough enough? When do you cut your ties and just run?
I mean, I've already said I'm not staying in the state to have children.
Yeah.
That was my line, was all this children stuff.
Well, you can't have children in that state because as soon as they're born, they're immediately going to be awarded the state. You won't have any parental rights.
Yeah, and if the school I send them to decides to trans them and then I don't affirm, I'll get them taken away from me.
Homeschool 'em, and then you
I
gotta
would
worry
have
about
to
that.
if that's even legal in California still.
Oh, that's true. Well, homeschooling is illegal in Germany. You cannot homeschool your child in Germany.
There are like programs here in California where they have like things like Learn for Life, where it's basically homeschooling, where you go and see like an instructor like once or twice a week.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I would have to look into it, but I wouldn't still not have kids here because I would be an idiot to do
No.
that.
Yeah, no. That would be scary because just the healthcare program there now.
Yeah. Here, we're almost done with this article. Let's get through the rest of this. With this nearly perfect formula, talking about all these laws that we've discussed so far, the progressive left in California has done the impossible in a nation that nearly destroyed itself over slavery. They have brought it back. How ironic in a state where slavery was never legal, yet where Democrats have waged internal battle over reparations. Make no mistake about it, this is slavery, and just like in the days of Old South, it has government lurking behind every policy and every terrible consequence. This is the calculated sale of vulnerable humans, children, in this horrific case, into the service of other humans with the government's deliberate aid. Is it any wonder the leaders of the Democratic Party in California and across the country show no apparent concern about the 300,000 children that went missing when they crossed the border during the Biden administration? If Gavin Newsom and his legislature had deliberately set out to resurrect the slave trade in California, would they have done anything differently? Would Joe Biden have done anything differently? The kiddie stroll is not the bug, it is the feature. It is the hideous sculpture revealed to our unsuspecting eyes after years and years of progressive chipping and chiseling away at the edges of the law. A monstrous tribute to the evil that has been boiling and bubbling underneath our amber waves of grain for 70 years or more. California's kiddie stroll is more than just a tragic tale of crime and poverty. It is the 21st century slave trade, and the fact that it exists and thrives in California is nothing short of evil. Shame on all of them.
I agree.
Yeah, it's absolutely abhorrent that this is happening in my state. Again, I can't have children in this state. They will be taken from me. They will be put into sex slavery, and they will be prostituted. Like you can't have children in this state.
My biggest concern with all of this is everybody in your state is screaming that they want reparations for being black and slavery and oh how slavery is ended and I need my reparations, but yet we have slavery right there in plain black and white, and they cannot see it. They won't see it. They're allowing willful ignorance, and it's sad and it's heart-wrenching, and
What's that
I'm
quote from Harriet Tubman? I saved many slaves, and I would have saved many more had they known they were.
Yeah, if had they known they were slaves. Yes.
That's what we see today. That there's all these people that are just in support of this, and they're like, "Oh no, these laws are protecting kids." They don't realize that you're making these children slaves. These children don't understand, and then you trick them into thinking this stuff's okay. It's all
The depravity
disgusting.
of, oh my God, just imagine these poor children when they grow up. Literally, most of them are going to be hooked on drugs. They're either going to commit suicide or they're going to keep going down this path. And they're going to be the abusers because most times that's what happens. One of those three avenues happen. They're either dead in a ditch, they're hooked on drugs, or they become the abusers.
Or they become the drug addicts you see on every street corner now.
Yeah, and these children are going to not have any kind of a life because they were taken.
I mean, that's exactly what California wants, and that's what Democrats want. The bad timing, Nora.
I can't help when I get notifications.
No, you're fine. That was almost as bad as the yay sound. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, and to tie this in with current events as well. That's it. This is exactly stuff like this reminds me of why the Democrats don't care that food stamps are about to be canceled, because they just want the destruction of the country.
Oh my God.
They want the destruction of the country, so that way you are scared and terrified, and then when they come in and they're like, we have the solution, communism, you're like, yes, please do that. If it fixes things, do that. That's what they're trying to, that's the ultimate goal, is they're trying to get everyone to think that the system we're in is dog shit so that they can change the system entirely. When our system is the best on the planet, it's been corrupted for so long that it's starting to turn to shit.
Yeah. That's exactly it. We need to fix it. And it's not that it needs to be turned into communism, because that is the worst thing in the world. And if anybody doesn't believe me, go look up Albania. Albania was the worst form of communism because they weren't even allowed to have religion. You want to see a country with no religion? Go look up Albania. Seriously, go look up communist Albania.
I mean, just look at modern day China. Modern day China won't let you be a Muslim.
No, well, you're allowed to have a religion there.
At least you're allowed to have a religion, yeah.
You are allowed to have a religion. In Albania, there was no religion whatsoever. If you got caught, you and your whole entire family disappeared. And that's exactly what I'm afraid of is going to happen is in communist countries, if you do not align, if you speak out in any way, shape, or form, like even though we are free right now, if this country, God forbid, ever turned communist, Tyler, me, Joey, Chris, all of us, gone. Our whole entire families wiped off the map in a blink of an eye. Why? Because we make videos like this.
We're dissidents.
We talk about this. And we talk about this stuff and we warn about it. And even though we're still free, it's still out there. And so people know our opinions. And because we have differing opinions, we are immediately targeted as threats. So they're going to neutralize those threats. And I'm sorry, but I don't like, I like being here. I like being able to talk. I like having a differing of opinions. We need to fix our system, not turn it into a communist country.
Yeah.
If you don't like feminism, stop supporting Marxists. Don't become a communist.
Well said, Nora.